Yeah! Right, so this morning's dive set up. Just got my 110, still in a 3mm suit. I think the date's I think it might be the 1st of May today, or 2nd, something like that. So pretty happy to still be in a 3mm suit. Wasn't cold, just wasn't warm. So it's that time of year where another week or two will be heading back more towards a 5mm suit and the winter suit. But bloody good, I tell you, bloody good to get in the water. Okay, so in today's efforts of making a video, the GoPro battery was flat. I had it on charge this morning and it turns out it didn't have enough charge to really get through the dive, which is why I don't think you saw any of the shots today on film. You did see that fish, however. Never saw any really good snapper today. That was probably one of the better ones I saw. Nice fish, good couple feeds, and that stoned him. I think you saw the after shot. One of New Zealand's most underrated fish. Sort of a desperate dive today. I shot a little porori just to have a hoon on one, which are actually pretty good eating, especially if you get the guts out and get it cold, which I have. I've looked after it since the time of catching it. So, and a mullet. I haven't actually shot a mullet before. They're usually bloody hard to get a shot on, the old schools of mullet, but shot one right at the end. So I know they smoke well. I can't remember. I don't know if I've really eaten mullet just as a fillet, so we'll give that a whirl as well. Mixed bag, as you've seen, pretty fishy dive, but not quite the fish that I was after. As mentioned, never saw a big snapper today, but saw lots of little ones. So I'm just going to get into filleting these and hopefully put a bit of a meal together for tonight. Hopefully she won't taste too muddy or anything would be my thoughts with this mullet. They're beautiful smoked. We eat a lot of smoked mullet up. Dad does a heap and they're bloody good. You can sit down and eat a whole mullet, but I don't believe, certainly in recent times, I've done this to one, so I haven't shot one, I know that much. Well, I haven't landed one, sorry. And parore, the beginner, used to shoot heaps of these. These also bloody smoke really well, I reckon. I rate them highly in the smoker, the old porori, and they're a great smoker filler. Like if you're going to do a big smoke, you got a big smokehouse and you can fit more fish in. We've done it before. Just shot a few extra porori just to fill her up. But like most fish smoke pretty well. So last month's kilometres of 223 was substantially over anything I've done before. And to me it was just a matter of survival. This month won't be anywhere near as much, but I would like to pick the pace up because I had to drop the pace off last month just to get through. Almost 5k's in now, legs are pretty tender. Squats yesterday and a dive this morning, but we're getting there. Right, just like that, it's dinner time. So what we've got cooking tonight, we're actually frying up the mullet and porori, just in a pan, bit of salt and pepper, a bit of flour, pretty simple, butter oil mix to really probably get a fair indication of what these fish taste like. I've eaten them both before obviously, but these have been well looked after and well cared for. I think they're probably going to taste a lot better than you'd think. And just some scrambled eggs. So that'll be a piece of mullet. which is quite firm. It tastes pretty damn good. And that right there will be Perori. Which is more flaky and doesn't taste as strong as the mullet. Tastes better. Quite nice, surprisingly. Very underrated fish. To wrap up this video, what does everyone think about what we're going through and we've been through? I think a lot for me today. I realised driving around and well, I didn't really go far. I sort of only went just down the road, but I kind of haven't really thought too much about our actual government restrictions and how much restriction was put on us until today, and seeing, like, you know, small business and things running again during level 3, and I sort of felt like level 3 was probably the sweet spot of possibly where we, you know, in hindsight of course, should have been this whole time. You know, that's probably what Aussies, very similar to Australia and like parts of Canada and a couple other places I know of, you know, they've still allowed small businesses to operate and still a little bit of freedom with your hobbies and things like that. To me, that would have been the real sweet spot. Of course, it probably would have delayed the control of the virus a little bit longer. And of course, it's a freaking tough job because no one really knows what's going on. There's so many theories floating around with the virus, whether it's been, you know, spawned from the bloody bat or whatever, or been man-made. I've heard a lot of compelling arguments for the fact that it still has been man-made, and I'm certainly leaning much more in the man-made direction than the from just eating a bat or whatever the hell a lot of the theories are. I don't know, what do you guys think? And sort of feel free to drop a comment as to what it means for you, because we're certainly not in the clear yet. Please refrain from any stupid comparisons like it's no worse than the flu, because I think that's one of the just idiotic. I've seen people compare it to the flu. I've seen people compare it to like domestic violence statistics, and you're just stupid. If you're even comparing those two things, you're not even on the same planet as me as far as I'm concerned. You know, to compare it with the flu, well, the common flu is in our atmosphere. It is non-quarantined, it's not locked down, and people are using like yearly figures for the flu to compare it to like the COVID statistics, and it's fucking ridiculous if you ask me. So please refrain from leaving anything like that, but feel free to comment what you guys think and what you've been through, and what you're going to be up to as we move forward as a country. And I'd like to say not a planet, because we're more distant and separated from the rest of the planet as we've probably ever been right now. And so the goals for myself is to look forward, look as a way forward for New Zealand and how we're going to do it down here in the South Pacific. So that's it. Bloody good to get back in the water today. The weather's looking really tricky for the next part, which is kind of going to cock a few sort of plans up, but we are allowed I'm allowed to skim, allowed to surf, and yeah, we're allowed to dive, and that's still under debate with a lot of people. So yeah, I'm Sam Price. I'll see you at the beach.